The story of Jimmy and Becky Neeley. The heartbreak of 1969. In 1969, Jimmy and Becky were high school sweethearts in Texas. Jimmy was a senior, Becky was a sophomore, and they were each other's first real love. Jimmy eventually joined the Navy during the Vietnam War. Before he shipped out, he bought an engagement ring, certain that Becky was the one. But when he proposed, Becky said no. It wasn't because she didn't love him. At the time, her mother was terrified of the military life. Becky's father had been severely injured in World War II and pressured her to make a clean break. Heartbroken, Jimmy left for the Navy. They eventually lost touch, married other people, and lived entirely separate lives for the next 47 years. The decades apart. For nearly 5 decades, they were just memories to one another. They raised families, worked careers, and weathered the joys and sorrows of long marriages. By 2017, both had become widowed. Becky had lost her husband of 43 years to cancer, and Jimmy had lost his wife of 34 years after a long illness. They were both in their late 60s, living in the same general area but unaware of it, assuming their chapters of love were permanently closed. The message in the inbox. In 2019, Becky's daughter suggested she get on Facebook to stay connected. One afternoon, a familiar face popped up in her "People You May Know." It was Jimmy, wearing a police uniform in his profile picture. Becky sent a simple, tentative message. To her shock, Jimmy replied almost instantly. When they finally agreed to meet for coffee, they pulled into the parking lot at the exact same time. Becky later said she felt like a 15-year-old girl again the moment she saw him. The second chance. They spent hours talking, realizing that the luck Stephen Hawking spoke of, finding that rare connection, had actually happened to them twice. Jimmy admitted he had never truly forgotten her. In 2020, Jimmy took Becky back to the exact same spot where he had proposed in 1969. This time, he didn't have to worry about the clean break. He asked again, and 50 years after the first heartbreak, Becky finally said yes. They were married on Valentine's Day, 2020. Why this story sticks. Love as a constant. Even when they were apart, the respect and luck of having known each other shaped who they were. The courage to return. It would have been easy to stay safe in their grief, but they chose to risk their hearts one more time. The full circle. They didn't throw it away. They simply had to wait for the world to be ready for them to hold on to it again. I wake up every day, and thank God he brought you back. I'm just very happy. Jimmy Neeley.